Welcome to English Grammar 1, Unit 16. Past Perfect Continuous. I had been doing subject plus had plus been plus verb plus ing. Study this example situation. Yesterday morning, I got up and looked out of the window. The sun was shining, but the ground was wet. What was the cause for the ground to be wet? It had been raining. Why did we use here past perfect continuous? Because we speak about yesterday. We speak about an end point that is preceded by the action, and the action continued before that point of time, and that point of time is in the past, and the beginning of the action is in the past. So the action extended from a past point to another past point. So when we speak about it, we use a past perfect continuous. If we compare it with present perfect continuous in unit 9, we will find that in present perfect continuous, today I wake up in the morning and we say the sun is shining and the ground is wet. The sun is shining means the sun is shining now, and the ground is wet now. The cause of the ground to be wet is that it has been raining. It has been raining. That is a present perfect continuous. If we think of this point is, which is now, next day or after 3 days, it will be a point in the past. So the action that preceded it will be not in the present perfect continuous, but in the past perfect continuous. That is, the cause of the ground to be wet is happened before that, and that point, which is now, we call it now, it became in the past, so it became a past point of time. So the action preceded it extended from a past point to another past point. And when we focus on the action itself, we don't use present perfect simple or present or past perfect simple. We use present perfect continuous or past perfect continuous. And here in this case, we speak about an action extended from a past point to another past point. So we use past perfect continuous. But if we speak about an action that is extended from a past point up till now, then we use a present perfect continuous. So here we have the point yesterday, and the end point is yesterday, and the action started in the past and ended in the past. At the end point, we speak about the action. At that point, we use past perfect continuous, because the action extended from a past point to another past point in the past. And the result here, that is the ground wet, is the negative result, where the ground is wet, or the result, we see the result here. So what caused this result is the action. Here we focus on the action, and it was yesterday. Here we have the ground was. If you look at the auxiliary verb was, then you know that the end point is in the past. So the action becomes like this: it had been raining. Past perfect continuous. It was not raining when I looked out of the window. Here, if you concentrate on the auxiliary verb was, not now, it was a point in the past. So the sun was shining as well. Here we have was, but it had been raining before. What was the cause of the ground being wet? It had been raining before. An action extended from a past point to another past point becomes past perfect continuous. And the form is had plus been plus verb plus ing. Here is a table for the form of the verb. If we have the subject I, we, you, they, pronouns, plus had, plus been, plus verb plus ing, it becomes I, we, you, they had been doing, or I, we, you, they had been working, or I, we, you, they had been playing. And here if we look at the pronouns, at the subject, it is plural, so we use had in the past. And if it is singular as well, we use had. If we look at the other subjects here, he and she and it, followed by had plus been plus verb plus ing. He, she, it had been plus verb plus ing plus doing plus working plus playing. Some more examples. When the boys came into the house, here you look at the verb came, means the point of time is in the past. Their clothes were dirty, and where is indicates a past point of time. Their clothes were dirty, their hair was tidy, and the verb was here indicates a point in the past. And one of them had a black eye, and had indicates a past point. These are all negative results. What was the cause of these negative results? The cause must be a verb that extended from a past point to a past point to that past point. So we say the end point is in the past and the beginning point is in the past. The action extended from a past point to another past point. At the end point in the past, we use past perfect continuous. So the verb becomes like this: they had been fighting. This is the cause of the missing situation here. Their clothes were dirty, their hair was untidy, and one of them had a black eye. The other example: I was very tired when I got home. Here if we look to the verb here, I was very tired. Here the verb is was. That means the end point is in the past. So what was the cause of being tired? So we focus here on the action itself that is extended before that point of time, from a past point of time to that end point of time. So we use it in the past perfect continuous. So we say, I had been working hard all day. The third example: when I went to Madrid a few years ago, I stayed with a friend of mine. She had been living there only a short time, but knew the city very well. I stayed with a friend of mine. Stayed here another point of time. And what happened before that? An action extended from the past to that point until that point in the past. So we use it in the past perfect continuous. So it becomes she had been living. In the present, in the past perfect continuous. You can say that something had been happening for a period of time before something else happened. We use the past perfect continuous to express an action that precedes another action as well. Here, for example, we had been playing tennis for about half an hour when it started to rain heavily. We continued doing something in the past when it started raining. The first action is we had been playing tennis, past perfect continuous, and the second action is it started raining, past simple. And here the first action preceded the second action. The first action is used in the past perfect continuous, and the other action is used in the past simple. George went to the doctor last Friday. He hadn't been feeling well for some time. What precedes going to the doctor? The first action that caused him going to the doctor is he had been feeling well. He hadn't been feeling well for some time. So the first action is that he hadn't been feeling well, and the second action is he went to the doctor. The first action is used in the past perfect continuous, and the second action is used in the past simple. So in B, we can say that something had been happening for a period of time before something else happened, and we use the first action in the past perfect continuous and the second action in the past simple. It is similar to the past perfect simple and the past simple actions. When two actions precede when two actions follow one another. So the first action takes past perfect simple and the second action takes past simple. But here we use past perfect continuous for the first action, and for the second action we use past simple. We had been playing tennis for about half an hour when it started to rain heavily. And the second example, George went to the doctor last Friday. He hadn't been feeling well for some time. George went to the doctor. This is the second action, and the first action is he hadn't been feeling well. The first action is written in the past perfect continuous. C. Compare have been plus verb plus ing, that is present perfect continuous, and had been plus verb plus ing, that is past perfect continuous. Here is a comparison between present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. If you look at the sketches here drawn, you will find out in the present perfect continuous the action extended from a past point until now. When the action extends from a past point until now, we use, and now is the end point, we use here present perfect continuous. If the end point, which is now, became past, means if we spoke about it after 1 day or 2 days or somewhat like this after some time, then the end point becomes past. So the action extends from a past point to another past point. At the end point is in the past, as in the diagram number 2 or in figure number 2. In the past perfect continuous, you will find that the action extended from a past point to another past point. At the end point in the past, we use past perfect continuous. That means past perfect continuous is similar to present perfect continuous, but we speak about it after some time. We don't speak about it now. If we speak about the action now and the end of the action is now, then we use the present perfect continuous. If we speak about the action later on, so the end point becomes in the past, so we use past perfect continuous. Look at the first example on the left. I hope the bus comes soon. What I have been doing before now, 20 minutes back. I have been waiting for 20 minutes. Means 20 minutes back until now, I have been waiting. So the end point is now. That's why we use present perfect continuous. On the other hand, on the other side, if we look at the first example, we see at last the bus came. And if you look to the verb came, indicates the end point is in the past. So what happened before that? I had been waiting for 20 minutes. I had been waiting 20 minutes back until I stopped at the end point where I spoke about the action in the past. So I use here past perfect continuous before the bus came. On the other side, in the present perfect continuous, the second example, James is out of breath. Now is means now. Then what happened? What was the cause of that? He has been running. He has been running for some time before now, until this moment where he is out of breath. On the other side, James was out of breath. Here we find the verb was, means the end point is in the past. So we change the present perfect continuous into past perfect continuous. So the action becomes like this. James was out of breath. What was the cause? He had been running. So the end point is past, so we use past perfect continuous. So it becomes he had been running. D. Compare was plus verb plus ing, that is past continuous, and had been plus verb plus ing, that is past perfect continuous. If we think of past continuous, we have already said that past continuous is an action expressed while we were in the middle of the action in the past. We speak about the action at a past point when we are in the middle of the action. So we say it was raining when we went out. When we went out, it was raining. We went out, it was raining before we went out, and it remained raining after we went out. So we were in the middle of the action, which is was raining. That's why we use here past continuous. The sun was shining. Also, we went out while the sun was shining. Again, in the middle of the action, we went out. But it had been raining. What happened before that? What happened before that? An action extended from a past point until a past point. So at the end point, we use here past perfect continuous. So we say it had been raining. So when we say it wasn't raining, and when we went out in the middle of the action. Wasn't raining. That's why we use here wasn't raining When we are in the middle of the action, it is in the past, so a past point of time. We are in the middle of the action was going on, so we use here past continuous. But on the other hand, when we are at the end of the action and the action extended from a past point and stopped now or just before now or somewhat after now, then we use and now is not a point now. The end it is the end point, and the end point is in the past, and the end point is in the past, so we use it in the past perfect continuous. If the end point is in the present, so we use present perfect continuous, but the end point is in the past, so we use what happened before that end point. It had been raining, so the ground was wet. The ground was wet. Here is the result. And the verb here is was, indicates that the end point was in the past. Kathy was sitting in an armchair resting. She was in the middle of doing the action. So we use here was sitting, past continuous, in the past. She was tired because she was tired. This is the end point. Now she was tired. Not now, I mean in the past. The point is she was tired. What happened before that? What made her tired is she had been working hard. So she was tired is the end point, and what happened before that, which made her tired, is the action she did, and the action is expressed here by using past perfect continuous. So we say she had been working hard or very hard. So, number E, some verbs, for example, no and like, are not normally used in the continuous. We know that the verbs no and like are stative verb. They are not dynamic verbs. They must be used in the present simple, not in the present simple or past simple, but not in the present continuous or past continuous. And the present perfect simple, not in the present perfect continuous, and in the past perfect simple, not in the past perfect continuous. So they are stative verbs, so they must be used in the simple form. We don't use them in the continuous form. So here, if the situation needs continuous, we must replace the continuous by the simple form. So when we say we were good friends, were here indicates a past point in the past, and what happened before that past point? We had known each other for years. So here we use past perfect simple because the verb know is a stative verb. We don't use it in the continuous, so we can't use the verb in the form of a past perfect continuous. We can't say we had been knowing each other for years. No, it is incorrect this way. So because the verb know is stative, we must use it in the simple form. So when it needs past perfect continuous, we must change it into past perfect simple. So it becomes like this: we had known each other for years. That's all. Thank you.